Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio. Welcome to our new time, 6:30 p.m. It's 11 o'clock. Seemed to be a little late for everyone, so we decided to change the time. We want to thank our sponsor, PornoBay.com, an auction playground for all your adult entertainment needs.
Check their business listing,
classified ads,
job openings,
forums, and chat rooms.
not to mention their really cool merchandise.
Place your bid today at PornoBay.
Well, recent events that you all know about that are on Facebook and following us on Facebook, heard that my grandmother just passed away yesterday. So it's going to be a little hard for me.
So she's with you, and she's an angel guiding you now.
So
we want to thank all the support that you guys have been giving Jessica. You guys mean the world to us, and your love and support has helped her get through bad times.
Yes, it has, very much so. And I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
We have a caller, and we're going to let the caller introduce themselves, and then we'll continue with the show. Good evening, caller number one. State who you are and where you're calling from.
Go ahead. You're on line with Jessica and Mark.
Anyone there?
Okay.
Hello?
Don't know if you came through.
Oh, it's got the red little thing going on there. Anyone there?
Well, I know.
Come out, wherever you are. Okay, I'm going to put you back on hold.
Try to call back if you can hear us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, tonight's show is going to be about dating a transgender individual. Many of you will probably wonder what it would be like to date a transgender individual. What would you do if the person across that bar that you felt instant attraction to was trans? There was a poll taken on Soda Head, an online forum of sorts, and this was the response they got. And please bear with us. We are reading this exactly as it was written and posted.
I don't see a problem with it. I am naturally straight and currently with my boyfriend, Mike. But if I ever was in a situation where the boy I was dating used to be a girl, it wouldn't bother me.
One of the poll taker replied, yes, I would, and it was on the it's what's on the inside that matters to me. Another said most people forget it's more than body, but feeling as well.
I go for people based on personality, not gender. Love is love. If I fall for a person, I don't really care whether they've been born male or female. Love doesn't discriminate, I think.
If I really love that person and that person loved me, then why not? Then there were those that weren't so positive and replied, no. I'm religiously obligated not to date in the traditional sense, first of all, and then I can't really marry a tranny any of sorts. but I would hook a transgender up with one of my friends if I could.
Maybe as a joke, I guess. Okay, I am not even English speaker, and I know accept is not accept G.
She wrote this like just exactly. Yeah, Jessica's not incompetent in any way.
No, not incompetent in any way. Like, I won't date a ugly or overweight person. Transgender aren't my cup of tea. They still aren't completely changed.
And, like, that person's ever tasted the transgender person to say they're not their cup of tea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Many parents of trans individuals are concerned about the future of their children. One said, I was watching a documentary on transgender people, and one of the parents had mentioned a valid point of, how will my daughter, boy to female, I guess you meant female to male, or male to female,
yeah.
How would they get married? Will she have issues finding someone who will accept her?
Exactly.
Let's check back on the caller and see if maybe the caller wanted to have some input on that. Caller, you're back on the line. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello?
We're having a ghost caller.
A ghost caller, sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll move on with the show.
Yeah.
And if the person that's trying to call in wants to try again, maybe there's a bad connection.
Are you there? Anyone there? Hello?
Or maybe, well, we should be able to hear because we heard everything go through fine.
Yeah.
Okay, just because of that, maybe they're just listening to the show.
Maybe. Anyway, we were going to discuss about this. You know, people think we're from some other type of planet or something, you know, to date a transsexual person. People shouldn't really worry about what's in between your legs, but what's in our hearts.
And in some instances, yes, I can understand because I can see how maybe some people would be insecure with dating somebody that's transsexual. Like, say, for instance, a straight male. I know a lot of them may have hang-ups about dating a male-to-female transsexual only because of what a male-to-female transsexual may still have between their legs. So that might be a little bit of a deterrent.
Well, that could be very shallow, too, because
that's a shallow
if you fall in love with a person, you're not falling in love with their genitals. I believe you really shouldn't have a hang-up on whether they have an innie or whether they have an outie. And to me, what's most important, that's why I consider myself pansexual, is the heart. And
you're a guy and you're just a horn dog.
Not necessarily so. As a guy who was born a girl, that.
Yeah. Okay. But, you know, I never hear you say, oh, baby, we can't tonight because I have a headache.
Actually,
nope.
I haven't heard that.
Well, yeah, I know. And your answer to that is he needs aspirin.
Right. But anyway, I mean, it's hard to date being a trans person because you feel you're deceiving the other person on the other end that you're trying to actually date. But, you know, it's their loss because we are very exciting. We offer so much more. We've been both male and female, so we know. I know what a guy likes and I know what a girl likes because I've lived life as both.
And so many transgender individuals have such great personalities over and beyond that of the cisgender people, whatever, you know, I mean, it's because we walk on both sides. And we have kind of a feeling, like you were saying, on
definitely, like for
who and what likes what.
For instance, I've been a female, so I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know how to do all these wonderful things.
Really?
Yes.
So why do you need directions to the kitchen?
That is a lie.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm embellishing a little bit.
And then, as well as you were born a male, so if the car ever broke down, I knew it was a problem because you.
I would not even go near that, and I do not want to break a nail. So.
But if we were in an emergency, I'm sure you.
If we were in an emergency, probably, yeah. I would use my bubble gum to plug the tire.
So how do we know the person you're dating is transsexual? We're going to give you some tips here. Mind you, we don't agree with everything, but this is what's out there. And
it's what people are saying, folks, and that's what we're here to do, bring out the voice of what people are saying. So, although some people are open about being transgender, others consider this to be private information and want to know that they can trust you before sharing such intimate details about themselves. If you feel this may be the case with your date and would like to find out politely and discreetly, follow these steps.
Be courteous and don't make accusations regarding their sex. Trans people who keep their physical transition to themselves when meeting new people usually do so out of self-preservation, not deception. If you go on the offensive and like you're sniffing out an enemy spy, your date is more likely to shut down, whether cisgender or transgender. Instead, make your date feel safe enough to tell you about his or her past if necessary. And since this is Dating 101, it would also improve your dating experience.
Dating 101. Isn't there a book that's Dating 101? I don't know. I know they got internet for them. I had to read that plenty of times. Look for a constellation of physical attributes. People's bodies are incredibly diverse, and a single physical characteristic won't say much about a person one way or the other. Moreover, genital reconstructive surgery has come such a long way that many who undergo it, not all trans people do, and they are indistinguishable from those who haven't. However, noticing a strong pattern of physical attributes may suggest that your date was assigned a sex at birth that he or she does not identify with. If you feel that you can pull this off without making your date feel like you're either ogling them or scanning them for data, try the following.
Okay, this is very important information here. Compare the length of your date's ring and index finger. Many people who were assigned male at birth will have ring fingers that are noticeably longer than their index fingers, whereas people who were assigned female at birth tend to have fingers more equal in length. And we checked that it actually yes.
Kind of. Well, no, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's pretty even to me.
Not.
Well, no, okay, I guess I put my hands straight out of the little
It can lead to be influenced by exposure to sex hormones while in the womb. However, because these hormones influence both digit ratio and human sex pattern, a person who is transgender may also have a reverse digit ratio.
Yeah. Look at the size of the feet. Feet do not grow or shrink during gender transition, though they can grow wider after childbirth. I don't know about that one. Look for an Adam's apple. Most men who are trans don't have a bump in the middle of their throat, but most women who are trans do. Do note that surgery can reduce the size of an Adam's apple. Now, that kind of...
I think they meant that most trans men don't have...
I think most men have Adam's apple, so they would have a bump in their throat.
So I think whoever wrote this meant most women.
The person that posted this comment was definitely...
It's not a comment, it's a thing there. Okay. Follow your date up a flight of stairs. Take note of how she or he moves while ascending, meaning going up the stairs.
Don't look up the dress.
Yes. Trans women may walk in a more straight-ahead motion with minimal wobbling back and forth, while trans men may sway a bit from side to side due to the size and shape of their pelvises. However, genetic females with narrow hips are likely to not sway as much as their curvier peers anyway. Keep in mind that all of these characteristics are variable and aren't 100% accurate.
Very true. And like I said, if you're walking up steps, don't try to peek under her skirt because she may just catch you.
And then you'll get slapped, and that will hurt.
Here are some more. Provide opportunities for your date to share personal information. Go about this the same way as you would with any other date. Begin asking more general questions about their interests and hobbies. Then move on to their work and friends. Then maybe you can move on to their family and childhood. For all you know, your trans date is looking for a good segue into a more personal discussion and will be grateful for the chance to be more open with you. Be careful not to jump the gun on this process. Opening a date with, so, what were you like as a kid? is intrusive, and if your date really is transgendered, obvious and insulting. Giving no credit whatsoever to his or her ability to talk to you like an adult.
Don't let your suspicions keep you from another date. If the first date goes well, but you still aren't sure about the person's trans status, go on a second. If your fear was misplaced, you'll be glad you didn't sabotage a perfectly nice budding relationship. If your date is transgender, he or she will probably reveal so on the second or third date, at which point you will be able to make an informed decision about whether or not to keep seeing them. Keep in mind, it is their decision whether or not to tell you about their trans status unless you ask them. They may not tell you at all, just like with any other thing about them. Now, I have to kind of interject here because I think it is important to tell the person if you're trans.
Of course. I think you should tell them right away. Why waste time?
Exactly, because it's usually nobody's business, but when you're dating somebody, you make it their business.
Exactly. Let them afford them the opportunity to choose whether they want to be with you or not. Don't do it and thinking, wow, this guy's really cute, if you're an NTS. This guy's really cute. I really want to get, together with him. I want this to move further, so I'm going to hide who I really am. Girls, that's the perfect segue for a bad situation. That is definitely a recipe for disaster.
Oh, definitely, because you're messing with the person's. You're
messing with their sexual.
Yeah, they're going to wonder, well, am I gay now? And then that create anger, and then that's how a lot of us end up in trouble and getting beat up and killed and so forth and so on. So maybe not the first date, because you want the person to get to know your personality, but the second date, then yes.
Unless you're easy and you plan on going to bed with them on the first date.
That's not good to do.
Mark had to wait 2 weeks before he got me in bed.
That is a lie, too.
No, it's not.
It was not.
It was 2 weeks.
Second date.
No, it was 2 weeks.
Stop hitting me. Go on.
Ask if you are faced with overwhelming evidence to support possibility that your date is trans. Find a discreet place and polite way to ask. Make sure you are in a place in which they are comfortable and safe. Remember, overwhelming evidence doesn't just mean a few physical traits. It means strong hints, possibly fed to you to see how well you react. If this is the case, your date may be inviting you to ask under which circumstances you should do just that.
Be respectful. If your date doesn't turn out to be transgender, appreciate that coming out as a trans person takes guts. That being said, not everybody knows how to navigate this kind of situation. If you aren't sure what to do next, learn how to respect a transgender person. If necessary, learn to deal with transphobia.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Let's check on this caller again and see if we got a right connection. Let's just sitting there listening. Hello?
Hello, caller?
Are you there?
Okay.
Guess not.
Looks like the same caller, but we don't know.
Caller, but either something's going on with the calling system or we...
I hope not. I would really think.
Yeah, well. Okay, so once to tell your date, I'm transgender. This is their...
like I said, that should be right in the beginning.
Yeah. Or at least.
Well, I would say right in the beginning, just to be on the safe side. This shows that you're honest, you're open, and willing to be involved in an honest relationship. Okay, here's the question. I've told men up front that I am male to female trans woman. I date straight guys, and I've also waited till longer into the relationship, and I still don't know which is the better approach. I don't want them to be upset or to lose their attention, but I also want them to know I am honest, and I am an honest person that someone could have a relationship with. What's the best strategy for this if I'm looking for a keeper, i.e., not just sex?
Well, the answer is whether and when to disclose that you are transgender is a personal decision. So there is no right or wrong here. It's a prior fact about you that might become relevant to someone you're dating if the relationship progresses past a certain point. But it's also something that you don't owe other people an explanation about. Some trans people prefer to be open about their transgender status in all aspects of their lives. Others prefer to disclose it only under certain safe circumstances, and many folks fall somewhere in between.
In the past, many transgender people received advice from healthcare providers that they should keep their trans status hidden at all costs. Today, however, there is a growing understanding that it can take a heavy emotional toll to feel obligated to conceal such an important aspect of a person's life. In light of that, here are some considerations that might help you decide what feels like the right choice for you. Let's say you decide not to say anything early on. What could happen?
You may end up spending more time and energy feeling anxious about when you will disclose that you are trans and how the other person might react. With that in mind, if you disclose your trans status up front, you can avoid wasting your time dating anyone who does not accept you for who you are or who would feel deceived. It can be hard to talk about something personal, like being trans, with someone new, but this is a pretty big payoff.
Exactly. Regardless of when you tell someone that you are trans, be aware of your safety. It is sad but true that violence against trans women in the dating context is all too common, and it can be hard to know in advance whether someone is prone to violence or they're not. If you have any cues that he might be, say if he seems to be homophobic or controlling, be extra careful. But no matter what, make sure that you are able to get help and support immediately if you need it, whether from your friends and family or from local LGBT or anti-violence organizations, which we all know that there's always anti-violence organizations sitting at every table next to you.
Yeah.
Hey, help me.
If you need my help, we're here.
Exactly. So I think this means in the future, if you do and you were subject to, a hate crime or violence against you because you are trans,
I just created a new job opportunity.
Yeah?
Trans bodyguard.
Hey, there you go. Hey,
go on a date, take a bodyguard with you, and the guy gets out of hand, and the bodyguard beats the living daylight out of that person.
I don't know how comfortable the date would feel with that, though.
It's all right. Well, it's a very important person. He needs a bodyguard. Here I am.
Yes.
That's what I was the wrong way.
Listen, don't be misconstrued about this whole context that we're going over because of the fact that FTMs are just as much prone to violence because there are some crazy-ass cisgender women, if they were to find out that you're an FTM, would freak out on you, and you may not be happy with the end result.
That's where a lot of trans guys are gay, and they
date guys that are gay, and they may not take to that as well.
I don't think a gay guy will beat up on an FTM. Well, they think, oh, it's a cute little furry bear. I guess I could deal with not having one.
I don't know. I think, UFTMs are just as much of a fetish as we are.
Oh, we are, but it's harder for us to get beat up.
Well, yeah, I know, but hello. So here's some things that you should not say if you're dating a trans woman. Well, first thing is, hey, you look like a guy I used to know. Out of the question. Don't say that. That'll kill the moment. Is your hair real? That's another one. One thing you should never say to cisgender women or trans women is, do the drapes match the carpet?
That's not good. Let's go to
the X section. I'm running off to you here.
Yeah, trans woman Canadian border snafu likely triggered by an unlabeled Vicodin. The Gorilla Angel reports, if you're transgender, don't travel to another country with a controlled substance in an unlabeled container. That's the lesson we need to take away from Domaine Javier's experience of the Canadian border. Javier was put back on a plane and sent home to Riverside, California, and told her to try again. The drugs may have indeed been her prescription meds, but she wasn't carrying them in a legal manner in order to pass muster with border agencies.
While Javier reportedly complained rather dramatically about how she was treated, especially how Canada Border Services Agency officers, God, that's a long name, accused her of being a drug smuggler and later focusing on her supposedly lack of proper work permits. But let's not lose focus of what prompted the drama in the first place. She was in possession of a controlled substance in an unlabeled container. Actual drug smugglers are tripped up this way and sent to prison. It's the law. Just because one is not a drug smuggler doesn't exempt one from following the laws in place.
Javier needs to turn off the media spotlight, get her work papers in order, and carry her Vicodin in a proper container before getting on another plane. This kind of tabloid type attention she's intentionally drawing isn't serving trans people in a positive way.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Transgender student in women's locker room, racist uproar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm assuming by the situation that this was an MTF, that this was all going through about. But the decision to allow a transgender 45-year-old college student who identifies as a woman but has male genitalia to use the women's locker room has raised a fracas among parents and faith-based organizations, hoorah, who say children as young as 6 years old use the locker room.
The locker room at Evergreen College in Olympia, Washington, is shared with the Capitol High School Swim Club and Children's Swim Academy, along with the students at Evergreen. The college has to follow state laws. Evergreen spokesman Jason Weinstein told ABC News, the college cannot discriminate based on the basis of gender identity. Gender identity is one of the protected things in discrimination law in the state.
Exactly, and I got some things to say about that when we're done. But according to parents, the fact that the student has exposed her male genitalia in one instance in the sauna is cause for concern. A mother reported her daughter was upset because she observed a person at the women's locker room naked and displaying male genitalia, said a police report filed in September by a mother on behalf of her 17-year-old daughter.
The Alliance Defending Freedom, an Arizona-based religious liberties group, sent a letter to Evergreen College on Friday, warning it that the decision to allow the transgender student to continue using the locker room could put the school in jeopardy.
And the fact that this individual was sitting in plain view of young girls changing into their swimsuits puts you and Evergreen on notice of possible future harm. David Hacker, senior legal counsel, wrote, the college has installed privacy curtains and said it would not change its policy for now. Now, which, that's good, but, taking into light the whole situation at hand, I believe that, the problem here is the fact that they have high school students mixed in with 6-year-olds and et cetera. I mean, that right there is grounds for making changes, not because there's a transgender female using the women's locker room.
Of course, so that's always anything that has to do with trans to make a bigger deal.
Of course it is. I mean, yes, and the person could have very discreetly wore a bikini bottom and been topless or whatever the case is, and not gone flaunting, being a nudist, so to speak, as to try to preserve the controversy in the situation.
Exactly. I mean, I used to use the locker room at LA Fitness, and I would always put a towel around my genitalia area, and when I came out of the shower, and then I would just put on my underwear without taking my towel out, and no one needed to know. I didn't want to know because I would have freaked all the boys in the locker room.
Or you may have been the head of the locker room. How the hell knows?
I was going to list that one. Anyway.
So anyway, going on a date, picking out an outfit, that usually can be a struggle. I don't know about FPM, but I know for MPFs it can be. It's like, oh my God, what am I going to wear? Da-da-da-da-da.
The reason we're talking about this is we're in lieu of
Trans-dating.
Correct. We decided to talk about how to pick an outfit.
Right, a proper outfit. I mean, if it's a first date, let's say, you're just remember, ladies, that a first impression is a lasting impression. This goes for the men out there, too. If you dress provocatively, you're going to be treated like a sex object. If you are dressed conservatively, you're going to be treated with more respect. So you need to figure out how you want to dress on these days and dress accordingly, whether it's casual, dressy,
right, and
whatever.
I've had to kind of teach you a little bit of that, because I went to meet my dad. Do you really want to wear that? Do you want to make a dress for my dad? Or you want my dad to want to do both? But, he's a 70-something-year-old, and you give him a heart attack. Besides picking out an outfit, it's a lot of transgender men and women gain a lot of weight using hormones. So tips on weight loss: drink lots and lots of water. You want to create a natural diuretic effect in your body, especially if you're eating a lot of salt. Salt makes you retain water. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, get your proteins from hemp, tofu, legumes, and sprouts. Do a lot of greens. Eat the fruit in the morning so that your body detoxes. And try not to eat later than 7 o'clock at night. Anything after that, the body just starts to store as fat. Yeah. And working out, start by walking, deep breathing, stretching, and start some form of lifting program, maybe 3 times a week, or and lift some weights. We'll go into it a little further on the next show. I'll give you guys some more tips, but basically drink a lot of water, try to stay away from processed food, and do some sort of movement. All right, guys.
I noticed that you talked about diuretic being in the water and stuff. Those of you MTFs that are on spironolactone is the generic of
Aldactone, yes.
Aldactone or something like that. I can't pronounce that. But that is also a diuretic as well, but it's not going to prevent you from gaining weight. The estrogen is going to put the excess pounds on.
So you got to lay off the tweets.
For some of us, yes.
All right, guys, make sure you check out our website, www.transitionradio.net. Check out our TV show at Not Straight TV. When you go on the website, you'll see the links to that. We want to thank everybody for your support. Hopefully you're enjoying the new time. And we're going to end the show with a song that I wrote called America, Where Did You Go, in lieu of these elections. And good night, folks. We love you, but remember to love yourselves, too.
Good night, everybody.
You're late for work again, been drinking with your friends, too many bills to pay. And you call this living? Your life's out of control, you have no place to go, your life is a mess. You're tired of not winning. America, where did you go? They came and stole our precious girl. They took our rights, fed up their lies. Oh, where did she go? You lost your appetite, there is no need to fight. Let's end this war right now. The children, they are grieving. So many jobs are lost, we have no place to talk. They lost our liberties. And we just keep dreaming. America, where did you go? They came and stole our precious girl. They took our rights from under our eyes. Oh, where did she go? Let us please understand that we must finally end this crazy mess we're in. Let us unite, my brothers. One nation under God, that is the way they plot this crazy game we're in. Yet we've been misleaded. America, where did you go? They came and stole our precious girl. They took our rights, fed us the lies. Where did she go? Under God, the green dollar bill, that's the God that taught us to believe in. America, where did you go? Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, America. Yes, America. They took our lives under our eyes. Unemployment lines are getting longer. We can't put food on our table. In the meantime, their pockets are getting thicker and bigger.